Okay, our last step in priming everything and getting everything ready for our students to set them up to want to be kind more often, to have that class identity, to set our kids up to be ready for social emotional learning, and to be kind is our physical environment. Now, I have to tell you, I've set this up for last because most people do this first and they think that they've checked it off their list. I've seen schools with the kindness posters hanging everywhere, right? And they think, oh, check it off the list. And I remember my very first year of teaching, I was handed this stack of posters after I had meticulously designed my classroom. I was so proud of it. I was handed these citizenship and respectfulness and fairness posters, and I had to hang them up. It was district mandated, and I was so irritated. So I hung them as high up in the classroom as I could. Now, my kids were kindergartners. They were this big. There was no way that they were looking up there. They had no interaction with these posters, but I checked it off my list. I did what they told me to do, and character education, I was done. Well, we all know that was never going to work, right? And those schools with those kindness posters, those are great. It's a great place to start. I have kindness posters that I've made, kind of like this one, and I sell them, and they're sweet, but they're not a stand-alone. They're not a, okay, we're done with kindness, we did it, we have posters, because those are the schools where the bullying is happening right under the sign that says no bullying. I have watched it happen. It's happened to my own personal kids. It's heart-wrenching to watch, right? But we have the kindness posters. It's great. It's a great place to start. So hang the posters if you want, but just know that you're not done there. Okay, so we can then figure out other ways to create a physical environment that is more effective. So one of them are our interactive kindness bulletin boards, and I've put a link into one of them for you. And it's a way to increase that praise and to get that excitement going towards kindness. So we have our kindness rules, and every time you see kindness, or a yard monitor sees kindness, or even a classmate sees kindness, right? It's building that classroom identity. They can write the kindness on a ruler strip and put it on your bulletin board. And after a while, your bulletin board will be full of all the acts of kindness. Now, this isn't about getting the praise, it's about showing them, look, we act with kindness, we speak with kindness, it's a verb, it's something we do, and look, here is our proof. And because it's interactive and the kids have power over this bulletin board, especially our older students, right? They get to add it for a friend. If they saw something kind, if they saw an adult do something kind, right? If they saw you do something kind, they can write it down and put it on the board, and it becomes this interactive thing that they own. And I have them for every month of the year, but the ruler one is a great way to get started. You can do morning announcements that includes kindness. So if you are an administrator or a counselor, you can add in a question of the day or discussion starter of the day into your morning announcements. Or, hey, I'm looking for kids who are going to be doing this kind of kindness today, right? If you're a classroom educator, your morning message, your morning meeting, talking about kindness, using discussion starters, and we're going to be talking about that in the basics, but using that time to create that space. You could chalk the sidewalk outside your classroom or outside your school with kindness messages. Again, it's not a standalone, but it's creating that space where you're saying, this is a kind place to be. We expect kindness. We expect greatness. We expect amazingness from you. And we know that you are a kind, amazing, great kid. Setting your library up to have kindness books, friendship books, anti-bullying books. I have a whole list of them. I'm going to give them to you. Celebrating our diversity books, right? We talked about that in the last video. Stocking your classroom library and having those books around, reading those books. When you have a guest reader or a mystery reader, ask them to choose a kindness book. Ask them to choose something about friendship. Give them a theme so that then you're tying it back into what your classroom is working on. We have kindness bookmarks that you can just have out, give to students, right? Kindness coloring pages when it's rainy day recess, or they're in the library, they finish their work early and they just need like a mindless something to just give them a brain break. Give them this kind of stuff so that they're just surrounded with the messages. Again, this is not the standalone. This is not a, oh, look at that, we have kindness bookmarks, check it off of our list. I have them, they're here, I will give them to you, but they are not the end all be all. It's not the end thing. What I'm gonna teach you in the next unit, that's where we dig into the everyday acts of kindness, how to make this a real thing. But we can also set them up so that they are surrounded by messages of kindness. You can also have teachers wear kindness t-shirts, kind of like this one, choose kindness, right? Because it's a million choices every day. It's not just be kind one time. You have to have a million choices to be kind. And so having teachers on Friday, you could do it in your classroom, your school spirit colors, but reminding if everybody's wearing these, choose kindness. We are going to be kind. This is a kind space. Creating a physical environment out on the yard, reminding your yard staff or getting them better trained to look for bullying, and we're going to talk about that, or making sure that they're aware of certain issues that might be happening so that they can prevent it a little bit more. Getting that physical environment, asking for more yard staff, asking for, if you can, parent volunteers to kind of help break apart some of the stuff on the yard that can kind of happen, right? Just more adult eyes can prevent a lot of bullying and teasing issues. So creating that physical space so that our kids then can thrive moving forward in the next units when we teach you how to do this. So again, in the very first video, I was talking to you about this is only going to work if you're implementing these ideas, right? And I know it's one more thing to do, and I totally get that, but this you will find value in. So kind of like your homework for this group of videos, this unit, this module, think about your students, and if you're at the beginning of the school year, think about maybe your past students to help you. Who wasn't really ready to be kind? What basic needs hadn't been met yet? How could you have connected with them or made sure their basic needs were met? Maybe they're hungry or they're tired or they're scared of something going on at home. How can you have better met their needs so that then they can be kind? So our kids who have never, who don't have their basic needs met, there's no way that they're going to be kind in our classrooms, right? So how can we connect with them? Think about those students who weren't quite ready to be kind yet. Think about how you're going to celebrate the differences in your classroom. Maybe make a plan, maybe figure out a way that you're going to do it, once a week or once a month. How are you going to celebrate your differences? What's amazing about your students that you can celebrate? And then moving forward, think about those class songs or the class cheer or the class, how are you going to build that class identity? What's going to work for you? What doesn't feel too cheesy or feels just right for your age students, right? And for your personality and for what kind of jives with the culture of what you already have. What can you try, or what would you want to try? Or are you going to ask your students what they want to try? Come up with a plan that you then know what you're going to want to do. So that's kind of your homework for this chapter, and that's kind of it. So you are then ready to then dive into the basics in our next unit. I will see you in there.